I'm a practicing pagan.
Yep.
I believe that I can do whatever I want.
Yep.
And I have the right to an abortion in my religion, and it's completely...
So in many states that have restrictive laws against abortion, the Temple of Satan is officially suing because they believe a woman should be able to sacrifice a child to abortion as part of the religious practice. So do you agree with the Church of Satan?
Yeah, Church of Satan should be able to do whatever they want. It's a religion, religious freedom. I mean, I believe we're in a free country. I believe in religious freedom.
Yeah.
We're in America. God bless America. We're in a free country. We should
Wait,
all be...
God bless me. I thought you were a pagan.
It is. I mean, we all
Can
should
you
get our
kill
own
me?
choices. You're
Can
not.
you
You're
kill
not
me?
an embryo. You're not an embryo.
That is, see,
You're
thank
a living human being, and so is the embryo. Yeah, it's alive. I don't care. It's not. I don't want it there.
Oh yeah, it's alive. I don't care. It's not. I don't want it there.
My main source for this video is The Tophet and Infant Sacrifice by Matthew McCarty. This is a chapter from the excellent book, The Oxford Handbook of the Phoenician and Punic Mediterraneans. Different men use different laws. With us, for instance, human sacrifice is not legal but unholy, whereas the Carthaginians perform it as a thing they account holy and legal. And that too, when some of them sacrifice even their own sons to Kronos, as I dare say you yourself have heard. So the inscriptions on these stones follow the very standard, widespread formula of either asking a god for help or thanking a god for help. So it's super common in the ancient world before you set out for war, or maybe you're just making a trading journey, that before you leave, you sacrifice to a god and say, hey, please help me with this, keep me safe. And then when you get back, you make another sacrifice to say, hey, thanks for filling out your end of the bargain. And that's what these inscriptions look like. So for example, we have one that says, to Lady Tanit, face of Baal, and to Lord Baal, because he, the god, heard the dedicant's voice and he blessed him. Let's look at the 3rd century BC Greek historian Cleitarchus, who gives us a description of what this ritual might have looked like. The Carthaginians, honoring Kronos, whenever they seek to be successful in some great thing, accordingly vow one of their children, burning it as a sacrifice to the god. Among them is set a bronze statue of Kronos, its hands stretched out over a bronze brazier, which burns the child. When the scorching flames fall upon the body, the limbs contract and the opened mouth appears almost to laugh until the contracted body slides quietly. Why this was such a popular ritual, no one really knows.
I had been approached by a Scotland Yard detective who told me, he said, when you investigate any crime and you do well at it, you get praised. When you look into child abuse cases, the opposite happens. Be very careful. He then told me about a cabinet minister that they'd investigated on a few occasions, and on each occasion they've been shut down. I was brought before someone who is now a very, very high-ranked officer in the UK indeed, and he sat me down and he said, John, I've got to be very upfront with you. You've dug too deep. What the hell have you done? And he said to me, if you ever disclose what you found out, you will lose your home, your children and your job. You must shut the F up. And he said, you will be thrown to the wolves. You have no idea who and what you are dealing with. He said, I'm warning you now, you must back away. The main witness, the young girl that came forward, was found dead in the street very shortly afterwards on a suspicious drug overdose. One of them told me of a scenario when he was in a kid's home at the age of 4, was raped on his first night by a Catholic priest. He then went on to be raped daily and whipped and beaten. He became a drug addict and he ended up as a rent boy on the street at an area of the West End where I used to work as a vice copper. And that was what was classed as the meat rack in Piccadilly Circus, where young boys were openly picked up for the purpose of prostitution. Yet it goes on consistently. I was summoned to a meeting, and it was a fully recorded meeting, and it was witnessed, and in which the cabinet minister handed my paperwork over to the Home Office officials. They then gave me their assurances that they will be in touch with me and give me a 24-hour contact number, and said they will investigate this independently. I never heard from them again. We are seeing police failings in respect to child prostitution hemorrhaging in this country, but we are seeing them on a provincial level. We're seeing them in Rochdale, Blackpool, Rotherham. We're seeing them in Oxford, Aylesbury, Swindon, all on a provincial level. London is one of the largest urban conurbations in the Western world. It has got one of the biggest police forces. We haven't heard one thing about organised child prostitution in London, and the reason being is that those high up have been covering it up. Children were killed at Haute de la Garenne, in which Lenny Harper had forensic evidence, which was then went missing. And he said to me, be careful, what you're looking at will go right to the heart of the establishment.
I grew up in upstate New York. I was involved in the Masons from a very young age, probably from birth, and born to breed. In the forest by the lake generally is where a lot of sacrifices would take place.
Woolsnuff films.
I took part in them, yes. And I remember a band put around my head and a needle going into my head. The amount of fear, I don't know what they were doing, but apparently extracting something. Apparently this thing is patented, a type of adrenaline.
Adrenochrome.
But helps keep everyone looking young
Yeah,
and
it does,
healthy.
it does.
And my mother looks younger than me. Once I began to menstruate, my father and his friend, who's a lawyer, raped me for 3 days near to Halloween. They have their own calendar that they follow to make sure that I was impregnated in time for Easter for them to extract the child. There were numerous times that I was impregnated. They would abort them before full term. I remember lots of big, huge holes with Mason symbols with the G and circles and me in the middle of the star and 12 people around many times in a white dress because they wanted me to have sex with the devil. I, at the age of 6, had to choose between my brother and my sister to be sacrificed. And I said, not my sister. So the boy was taken, and my father hated me for it because it was the boy. He instead cut all my sister's hair off afterwards and made her dress like a boy because of me choosing to kill the boy, not the girl. He kept calling out, Jenny, 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 help me. I loved him. Sam, I love you. So no one's safe. You have to step up.
Practicing pagan.
Yep.
I believe that I can do whatever I want.
Yep.
And I have the right to an abortion in my religion, and
Yep.
it's completely.
So in many
discreet.
states that have restrictive laws against abortion, the Temple of Satan is officially suing because they believe a woman should be able to sacrifice a child to abortion as part of their religious practice. So do you agree with the Church of Satan?
Yeah, Church of Satan should be able to do whatever they want. It's a religion, religious freedom. I mean, I believe we're in a free country. I believe in religious freedom.
Yeah.
We're in America. God
Yeah.
bless America. We're in a free country. We should
Wait,
all be.
God bless me. I think you're pagan.
It is. I mean, we all.
Can
should
you
get our
kill
own
me?
choices. You're
Can
not.
you
You're
kill
not
me?
an embryo. You're not an embryo.
That is, see,
You're
thank
a
you.
living human being, and so is the embryo. Yeah, it's alive. I don't care. It's not. I don't want it there.
Oh yeah, it's alive. I don't care. It's not. I don't want it there.